A friend with weed is a friend indeed. I'm like, you're a fool.
Alright, let's do this.
Betty
Social climate change. Betty Crocker. Wait, sorry. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the difference between blacks and Jews? What's the difference, the difference between us? We both believe in the God who redeemed us, the you and the me and the you, the black and the Jew, African and Hebrew. What's the difference between us? We both been demeaned. From now on, nobody demeans us. What's the difference between blacks and Jews? What's the difference? We're both the same. We seen age-old hate, seen age-old pain. We seen our ancestors killed on the street. We seen starving children steal just to eat. To our oppressors, we haven't forgotten the slavery, the beatings, the lynchings, the cotton, the ghettos, the gases, the patches, the lashes, the axis of evil you set to attack us. You should have finished, cause now we're back, whether Jew or black. Never again when we ask to be treated equally, we'll expect it. And if you don't deliver to us, we'll collect it. We both believe in the mountaintop. We won't stop trying till we stand on Mount Zion. When we reach a peak of our dreams, the mountains will bow down at what we've achieved. What's the difference between us? We both believe in the God who redeemed us, the you and the me and the you, the black and the Jew, African and Hebrew. What's the difference between us? We both been demeaned. From now on, nobody demeans us. What's the difference between blacks and Jews? What's the difference? We both been enslaved and mistreated. From the United States to Egypt, we built kingdoms with the sweat of our brows. From the period of the pyramids to the Twin Towers, we hauled bricks, we got whipped. And when we cried, it was fate that reminded us to not quit. It was fate that sustained us through the pain and the anguish. No matter how dangerous it became for us, you sang with tears, we shall overcome. We sang of future years in Jerusalem. Now that we're free, our struggles haven't stopped. We're defacing religious maniacs or racist cops. Beat goes on, I wish someone would end it. How many trials, how much must we be tested? Seems that God's preparing us for war. Good, that proves that it's God we're fighting for. What's the difference between us? We both believe in the God who redeemed us, the you and the me and the you, the black and the Jew, African and Hebrew. What's the difference between us? We both been demeaned. From now on, nobody demeans us. What's the difference between blacks and Jews?
Talk to Eton and Joey P. Said a dope Jewish boy won't rap with me. Said his name Esha and he wanna talk about how black folks and Jews should walk. Over all them folks who fail them both. About just who fail the most. So I told them I got this to say. Gonna be a whole lot and hell to pay. Cause the things we've been through up to now took a whole lot of sweat from people brow. Hebrews, they heard what Moses say. My folks, they believe what Jesus say. But that don't mean you can walk on us unless you got a sweet tooth for your ass to bust. And I really ain't spread no brand new news, so tell me what the difference between blacks and Jews.
What's the difference between us? We both believe in the God who redeemed us, the you and the me and the you, the black and the Jew, African and Hebrew. What's the difference between us? We both been demeaned. From now on, nobody demeans us. What's the difference between blacks and Jews?
Esha, we got you, baby.
They're like, let's talk about it.
But then when we come to Crown Heights, you need to hold us down too.
Damn.
Y'all know what time it is.
Alright. Shit.
Jesus, we got it.
What do you think?
I think both communities can relate to each other because we've both been through, messed up stuff, whether it's slavery versus the Holocaust, just killing people because that's where they're from. Doesn't make much sense, but a lot of things in society don't make sense. But definitely we've been through similar struggles. Yes, they're two different things. One is a community of people getting exterminated for, you know, just being them, and then the other was just being used as slaves. Like, you know, you're not even, when you're a slave, you're below a human. It's not even like being a pet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're just like, what are you, you know? So, definitely I like the music video because it's like that guy's now saying we're not going to allow this anymore. And if we unite and come together, we're actually even stronger because with numbers, there's power. So,
Well said.
definitely through the struggles that both communities have went through. I have Jewish friends. We have great relationships. You know, we all
Like, other than me.
Yeah. I have a few others just from when I played tennis, went to the tennis academy, and we both see eye to eye because we both understand when there's a common ground, that's how people bond. So our common ground is the struggles we've been put through due to where we're from, which we can't control. So that's how I feel about it.
I agree with that statement, very much so. I liked the video. I thought it was cool. When did it come out? Didn't he sound like Eminem? What the
A
hell?
little bit, yeah.
It came out in March 31st, 2006. It just seems like, you know, in this world, in this polarized world, we have black and white, and that's all we've been hearing in the past, like, year, is how white people are so, like, oppressive and different, but then it's like you have one little sliver of the white community that has actually seen some detriment, some Holocaust, some genocide. They have actually been through. There is a struggle,
Yeah.
and it's like it seems like the white people's struggle only exists with Jews. It seems like literally it's like they're not white enough for the white people, and they're not like minority enough for minorities. But really, anyway, so it seems like the only viable people that could maybe have to be the middle ground between white and black are like these are Jews, people who are in the middle, kind of for some weird reason or whatever. How do you think that blacks and Jews are similar? Like,
The stereotypes that we just always hear and they never go away for Jewish people. Money. You know, when someone says stop being like so Jewish, they're trying to say like stop being so stingy. That's obviously rude.
It's
and
like,
of course people say it and they're like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Well, it's too late. You already said it. And just how also for black people, it's like, oh, stop being like, if they hear certain types of music, they'd be like, stop being such a thug, or you dress a certain way like you're a thug, or how they just try and put us in the corner in the box being like, oh, we can only be a rapper or an athlete, and you know there's nothing else we can do.
I would agree with that completely.
And even just like one like this, you know, like how they say white men can't jump, and then how it's like if you're a black person they just already expect you to be athletic. Like that's not how it works. There are black people who can't jump for shit, and there's white people who can jump out the gym, and vice versa. You know, so it's all these stereotypes and things that have been implanted into society, and unfortunately they're still here till this day. It shouldn't be, but because there's nothing being done about it. And you know, when you get taught from K through 12, they don't really teach you about these stereotypes
that they're going to try to force on you
when you're in the real world.
Yeah,
you know, and so that needs to be definitely something that has to be addressed, and they need to even teach it even more. So,
well, you think they should teach the stereotypes so people don't act in that way, or just so they're aware of it?
They need to talk about it. You know, and they need to talk about how this will impact you in the real world, and to not expect the real world to always be this nice, happy-go-lucky place that everything's just sunshine and flowers. That you're going to face some adversity and unfortunately some racism, and how to deal with that and how to respond. Because there's a place and time for everything. But you know, sometimes you might hear something and it's really fucked up, but it's not worth your well-being, because you only get one life. So
yeah, no, I mean, I completely hear those stereotypes. Like, and on the Jewish end, it's like, because people think they don't think anything of it. They're like, what do you mean? It's good to be rich. It's a good joke. Yeah. Why are you upset? And it's like, I'm sure as a black man, you're probably sick of people being like, so you have a big dick? It's like, what they're quote unquote good intention. They're like, well, that can't be a bad thing, right? But it's also like, okay, so what, do you just think you know everything about me? That means I gotta have a big sex drive? Like, that means I gotta I gotta have money. It's like, I don't even know. And first of all, everyone's fucking stingy. It's called being smart, frugal, you know? We gotta be careful with our money. Everyone's like that, but if you're Jewish and you're doing it, people look at you and you're like, yeah, good. That makes sense. That would make sense over there. I'm glad that's happening because that's what I thought it's like. It's like, what the fuck? Anyway, but one really weird similarity, one conclusion I came to my head while we were watching this. I remembered, have you heard that Malcolm X said that he's like, looked at black people and he's like, hey guys, fuck this place. Well, we should go back to Africa. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Well, Malcolm X was literally like, honestly, this system is made up against us. We should probably go somewhere else, guys. But it's also like, you know, the unfortunate part is white people manage to make a country where everyone's able to benefit if you have money. So it tempts people to play the game and stay. And so it's kind of fucked up. But other than that, so his dream, he was like, guys, we'd be better off just minding our own P's and Q's in our own place. That's literally what Jewish people are doing with Israel. They are done with everyone trying to kill them, with everyone trying to box them in, with everyone just having something to say about what they're doing, that they're like, yo, we need our own place. So they have Israel, and that's why they're holding on for dear life, because it means that much to them. It is their one safe spot, their one safe location to live as a fucking ethnicity.
Yeah.
And they've realized this, and they're like, you know what? Fine, we will get our own spot. And now people are mad about it. And I get it, you know, it's not good to have a state-run religion, but anyway. What'd you think of the video?
I liked it. I like the message behind it. Just what he was trying to say about, like, you know, we're not standing for this anymore. People get mad when you stand up to their bullshit because it's a power thing. So when people see people protesting and standing up for LGBTQ or black people, or just, I mean, even the people are protesting for what's going on in Israel right now, how messed up whatever's going on. There's people who don't like that because they're like, why aren't they just conforming? Why aren't they just happy being in that place? You know, why are they speaking back? Why are they rebelling?
What do you mean?
In society, when there's protests, it's a bunch of people from different races standing up for the oppressed.
And they're like, why are you doing that?
Yeah, they're like, why? They're like, this is just how it's been. This is how like deal with it. But no, it's time. Like, people get fed up.
I hear what you're saying, and that's why people are against Israel right now, because they are like, because Palestine's barely a fucking country, and they're trying to attack Israel, and Israel's like, what the fuck are you doing? If you are going in a bad situation, you're willingly being oppressed at that point. You know you're gonna lose, and so it's like, American, like, Black Lives Matter movement literally backed. I don't like that Black Lives Matter is an organization. It's like, that's weird. But they backed Palestine, and it's like, why are you guys having an opinion on that matter when it's so different over there? And also, it's an oppressed group, but you don't have to help every oppressed group if they're self-inflicting. It's like, just because you're an oppressed group doesn't mean that you deserve a handout. You know, sometimes you're oppressed because you need to learn how to get along with society. I don't know.
Something gets resolved.
I mean, it's just difficult, you know, because Jews have nowhere to be, right? They literally have nowhere that they can be without people wanting them out. So it's like, that's why, and I realize this is why it's difficult for Israel to have, like, not a state religion, why it has to be a Jewish state. Because if Muslims, and it's hard to be a citizen if you're Arab, and if a whole bunch of Muslim people go in there, and because it's a democracy, they're gonna win. It's the only democracy in the Middle East. They're gonna win and take over the whole country because they have more people. And so it'll very quickly become not a Jewish state, and not why it was set up, was to be a safe haven for Jewish people. So it kind of is a very fucked up situation. It's very complicated because Jews still have this innate fear that one day people are going to turn on them again. And yeah, what do you think of Daddy-O?
The other guy rapping?
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
Alright, well, I guess that was it.
Peace, guys.